I don't have any more space on my computer to save this. Okay. All right, so it's going live. So today I have a pretty open agenda. Let's look at our group. What we were planning to discuss. Yes, we were planning to discuss. Yeah, it's going straight to YouTube and it's being recorded there. So I'll send you the link after the class. If you are subscribed to my channel, you'll get a live feed right now. So the I would like to discuss astrological remedies, so to speak. And so in our astrology, remedies play a very, very important role. They play a really important role. And so the remedies are so crucial. That's the whole purpose of astrology, is to understand which karma is affecting us and how we can practically kind of heal it, reverse it, or control it to a certain degree. So that is our goal. So if we can do that, then astrologically, we will be able to get a very good result. I mean, in the sense, everybody definitely has to go through certain suffering, which they cannot avoid. But by good karma, one can definitely change that. But by good karma, to a certain degree, one can definitely change that.
Sorry, Prabhu, no sound, Prabhu. I cannot hear it.
Okay. All right, so I'll just remove that. So anyways, so you can hear now clearly, right? So let us take a remote. I want to share, I saw, for example, one friend who in Sadesati, he never had any, actually, he never had any reaction during Sadesati. I was surprised. And I was doing his chart and he had no reaction during Sadesati. During Sadesati, some reaction should be there. He went through extremely unscathed. You know the reason? Can anybody tell the reason?
Due to his previous good karma.
Especially. Huh? What good karma he must have done for Sadesati? He was very, very charitable. I was amazed that because of charity, Ashtaka Varga also did not have good points for Saturn. But he was very, very charitable. So what I realized was that those who are very charitable during Sadesati, they get no reaction. So Saturn wants you to be charitable and wants you to be humble. So that gave me a very, very wonderful realization that basically Saturn wants to make you humble. So if you become humble and if you are charitable, then Saturn doesn't disturb you too much. When you become extremely proud, when you become very, very krapana, means you are not charitable, that's when Saturn hits you. So those who are about to undergo Sadesati, if they practice uh, okay, that's a good point by Naika. What is that? I'm going through Sadesati and nothing horrible has happened yet either, but I don't want to jinx myself. Yeah. So it can happen depending on your level of spiritual practice. The more humble you are, and the more giving you are, the more charitable you are. Some go through really tough lessons in life. Some people go through really, really tough lessons in life. And some people really are completely unscathed. So it depends on what charitable mindset you have developed. And especially one who reads Bhagavad, one who develops the qualities of Srimad Bhagavatam, definitely for him, the reaction level is very, very low. The reaction is very, very low. So the more we, uh, so the more we are charitable, the more we are spiritually progressing. To that degree, the reactions will be low. But there are certain things which are very we have to work on if we have done something wrong. So I think from Naika's point that health wise you must be extremely healthy, correct? Maybe you could chat. Am I saying correct that health wise you are healthy already even before the Sadesati? Not really. Some weight problems. Okay, something is there, right? Some problems are there, but not serious health issues. Okay, correct. That's the point. Hmm? So, but you've been practicing Krishna consciousness from before Sadesati 2014, or since when have you been practicing? Brought me to temple. See, because of sincere practice, see the very fact that you are studying astrology, that means your level of so your level of interest and knowledge in spiritual understanding is very deep, and because you practiced very, very sincerely, the good effect is there. So the practice you can see here, that a good practice of spiritual life, sincere spiritual life, can also reduce the reactions. So if devotees, the problem with all of us is that most devotees who are not offenseless in their practice, they suffer. They suffer. They go through a lot of changing period. They suffer. So if you want to change that, then we have to first of all become very humble. That's our main thing. We have to become really humble. And if we become humble and we apply the remedies properly, then we will be able to overcome any situation. any particular situation. But there are certain situations, for example, like Parikshit Maharaj's horoscope. When Parikshit Maharaj was born, there was a discussion on his horoscope, and it was revealed that he would die at a very young age. But there was nothing that they did to counteract it, although it mentions in the Bhagavatam that he could have done it. But then he understands the will of the Lord. And when something is the will of the Lord, just like he was about to die in 7 days, and the Lord wants you to go through it, then that is extremely auspicious for us. It was destructive. It was finishing him in 7 days. It was very difficult. But with that, and still the snake came and bit him. It was ordained that the snake Takshaka will come and bite him, and the snake did come and bite him. And however, when it bit him, he was in a completely self-realized state. So that means in certain cases, the reaction will be there, but you will be immune to it. That will in fact help you go to your spiritual destination. That will in fact help you go to the spiritual destination. So you have to accept the Lord's, whatever the Lord has ordained, so that you go through that and you attain the higher situation. That's the goal we have to realize. So, so if we focus on being good devotees, remaining humble and offenseless in our practice, that is the best way most of the reactions can be countered to that degree. But also everyone has a certain physical karma. Just like Naika says, some weight problems, but nothing major. So those things, of course, we have to practice yoga, all these things. So yoga is one way of overcoming bodily and mental karma. Chandrayana is another way of overcoming karma of the mind, controlling eating, gradually fasting, controlling eating. Fasting is extremely beneficial for healing the body and mind. So in that way, so there are certain activities, especially diet control is very good. One who reads the Bhagavatam every day, at least for 2 hours, offenselessly, sincerely, then there is no reaction. Then there is no reaction. So if we are good devotees, so it says in the Brad Parashara Hora Smriti also that those who are good devotees, for them this doesn't affect so much. This doesn't affect so much for those who are really good devotees. So, we have to try to become offenseless. And those who are sincere, then you will be totally under the protection of Krishna. And it is not wrong what it says in the Shastra. So that is important. So, yeah, I will just come to that. So there is, in the sense, every solution has to be individual. But anyway, there are 2 ways in astrology how you work at a solution. So one, you either strengthen the good planet or you try to work on the bad planet. Sometimes some bad planets cannot be worked upon. They are meant, so then, but easier is to develop the good planets. Like I know one temple president, for example, very nice devotee, but doesn't know any kirtan. So he doesn't do much kirtan anyway. He doesn't work on it. It is not his karma to do good kirtan. So he just gives good classes, extremely good administrator, extremely nice devotee, but he doesn't worry about his kirtan. So certain things you cannot change, you need not change. But certain things that can be changed should be changed. Hmm? So in your horoscope, any planet that is really doing good, if you expand the good effects, then it can really give you overall good effects. Like, for example, if you have a good Jupiter in your horoscope, if you focus on cultivating Brahminical qualities, because Jupiter relates to Brahmana Dharma, Vamana is the Lord. So then it becomes so auspicious that any negative planet also becomes positive. All the negativities go away. So some people have Saturn exalted. So then you focus on becoming what Saturn stands for. Saturn stands for is really good character. And the more you focus on becoming very good in character, very focused, humble, and extremely chaste and strong character, then what happens? Then you get, then it all the other bad effects in the horoscope, it will eclipse. But the moment you become arrogant and fighting, which goes against that, so then the negative effects comes. So improvement in personality, as per, if your Mercury is very high, study Shastras, main thing is to become humble in any of them. If you want to dodge the reactions, then the person has to become humble. The more he is arrogant, he will get the reaction. So we should not become, at sometimes, and most of the times, arrogance doesn't pay. The first thing you have to tell them is they have to accept these rules. If somebody wants to make a solution of their astrological problem, they cannot just keep breaking regulative principles, that is meat eating, illicit sex, or intoxication, gambling, and expect results. No. You have to be extremely sincere in character. So that is the main thing. So if you become sincere in character, if you become sincere in, that is the main thing. And that is what is called as vrata. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna speaks about the word dhrada vrata. So vrata. So if you are performing vrata, that will help you. But at the same time, dhrada vrata. So dhrada vrata is very, very important. So dhrada vrata means extremely fixed. Extremely fixed. He continues that vrata for a long time. So dhrada vrata is to take a vow for a long term. So astrology, sometimes some things are so difficult. If you take up some vow for a long term, like some things, like they say when you go to do your pinda, like of say parents, if they have died or something, you want them to get liberated. One of the things they say is give up your most important, what you like the most article, right? So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he saw a mango and he was eating that mango and it was very dear. He loved the mango. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur asked him, you ate that mango without offering? So he said, you ate that mango without offering? He said, yes. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, no, stop eating that mango, he stopped it for eating for entire life. But what did it help him in? Detachment. So similarly, when we give up something which is very dear to us in order to follow a vrata, or it's a personal connection with the Lord also, then definitely that karma will be reduced to a great degree. So a change, Krishna wants a change in character. And that's what we have not been able to do in our previous lives. So that's the difference between a spiritual personality and a material personality who's trying to make a solution. So one who is spiritually trying to grow very sincerely, then the reactions are reduced to that degree. The more he is sincere to the practice of spiritual life, the more all these reactions will be reduced. But the more he is arrogant, even though he is practicing spirituality, remember, many devotees also face a lot of difficulties. That is because there is some problem in the practice itself. There is some problem in the practice itself. So therefore, we have to look into our practices. We have to look at our attitude. So 2 hours Bhagavatam is for removing all effects or your recommendation. So the reading of the Bhagavatam, of course, it is not given in BPHS. Basically, all this Bhagavatam study, it is from the Vaishnava point of view. And because it's a transcendental literature, we can see that the BPHS, Brihad Parashar Horus Smriti, this does recommend that we worship a certain avatar of the Lord. Okay, give me one moment here. Okay. So basically, if we are able to focus on reading Srimad Bhagavatam, then Bhagavatam itself says, the second verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam says that tapatraya unmoolanam. So when the Bhagavatam, Vyasadeva himself says that tapatraya unmoolanam, then if we have faith in Bhagavatam, that means unmoolanam. That means it does remove from the root. The Srimad Bhagavatam does remove your suffering from the root. But again, that depends on your level of practice. How sincerely you read. Most people I see when they read, they are saying, their practice is not very deep. In the sense, oh, we have to read some verses, so we read. So you get benefit to that degree. But if your practice is really deep, then you get the complete benefit. So that is why it is said Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. So if you are performing Aarti of the Lord, if you are eating prasadam, but if you are doing all this, but not with an enjoying mentality, but with an attitude to serve, with an vrata, to purify myself. So we should understand that bhakti, practice of bhakti, yoga and bhakti, because I practice Ashtanga yoga also, both they are meant to purify you. And to the degree we practice it with a sincere attitude to serve and purify, to that degree it purifies you. And once purified, what it gives you is transcendental knowledge. The highest gain in all our practices is transcendental knowledge. Freedom from karma is one thing. So Kleshagni, Madhavananda Prabhu was saying the other day, that word is amazing. He said Kleshagni. So the Kleshagni, if we are practicing bhakti sincerely, then the Kleshagni is gone. So Kleshagni is gone. So Kleshagni is something very, it's a big deal to overcome Kleshagni, because we are always in Kleshagni. What is Kleshagni? Klesha is Raga, Avidya, Raga, Dvesha, Abhinivesha. When the soul comes down to the material world, he gets something called as Avidya. So Avidya, Raga, Dvesha, Abhinivesha. So then one builds after another. So then there is Avidya, Asmita. That is attachment, identification with the body. Avidya, Asmita. That is the root of all problems. Avidya, Asmita, Raga. Then you get attached, because once you identify with the body, then you identify with everything else, what the body comes with. Just like one devotee is saying, because we are born in this particular body, we inherit also the history of this body. What is the history? How this body came about. So this is Brahmana body, this came from there, this is that, this is Chinese body or American body. So this is the history of this body. So immediately get attached to the history, future, everything of that body. So Indians love cricket, Americans love baseball, right? Indians love idli sambar, Americans. So all that idli sambar, automatically with the body you get the taste. So with the attachment to the body. So this attachment is the critical thing. So avidya, if it goes, the root cause of all suffering is avidya. So if we can overcome avidya, that is only by transcendental knowledge. Bharat Parashara Horasmriti, he gives you specifically the 10 avatars of Krishna. The reason he gives you these avatars is to understand that if you are worshipping the Dashavataram, and the best way of worshipping Dashavatar actually is the Srimad Bhagavatam, if you really want to worship. And whoever I have recommended studying and reading of Bhagavatam, particular cantos, for example, somebody is Narsimha, somebody is having Mangal Dosh. So Mangal Mars is Narsimha. So if you worship Narsimha, so read the 7th canto. So I recommend 7th canto, it works. So similarly, somebody has dosha with the sun, then I recommend reading 9th canto, Lord Rama's Sun Dynasty. You meditate and worship the Sun Dynasty. Moon is Krishna. So moon problem. So then you read the Krishna book. You perform Chandrayana. You have to control diet and read the Krishna book. So that's how I recommend. And many people, it seemed to be working very nicely. More than any fire yajna or things. These fire yajnas work to the degree the pujari is strong. But Bhagavatam works anyway. So the fire yajna efficacy depends on the pujari, the place, how it's done. There is so many things, the ingredients, the mood with which it is done. But the Srimad Bhagavatam works at any cost. So that is why the Srimad Bhagavatam is recommended. Studying of the Srimad Bhagavatam on a regular basis, hearing, reading, chanting the Srimad Bhagavatam on a regular basis is the real recommended process. Okay, and you should identify which avatar is explained where. Identify the avatar with the planet, and then you can read it. And then read the avatar. So for example, those who have Rahu issue, Rahu is causing problems, then you should read Varaha avatar. Ketu deals with Matsya avatar. Another thing which I always recommend to devotees is we should always read Dashavatara Stotram. Dashavatara Stotram also worships the 10 avatars. It is in Gita Govinda. That is what you read when you open Jagannath Puri. Every morning in Jagannath Puri, when they open, they read the Dashavatara Stotra. So basically, if you follow the devotional practices very sincerely, then offenselessly. So why devotees also suffer? Mostly because of, one is offensive practices, attitude is not humble. These are the only reasons why devotees also continue to suffer. However, it's just the change in attitude and practice. Then of course you will get really wonderful results, and definitely all of you will get, if you should do that very, very sincerely. So I will leave it open to questions. Srila Prabhupada's horoscope, it will take a long time. Actually, I wanted to do a separate session. There is another group also. I am doing astrology first. I wanted to have a combined group. So I'll announce a date uh, when we can do that, because many people wanted to discuss that and there have been many points floating around. So I thought, let me do a separate session. Maybe in a week or two, I will let you know. And I want to invite a lot of other people also, so that we can have a very nice discussion on that. So let's that one I will leave it later. So what are the Brahminical planets? So basically, Jupiter, Venus, Mercury, Sun. So these are more or less Brahminical. Sun is both, is more like a Kshatriya leadership, but at the same time, Surya is also associated with the soul. So, but Jupiter is the most Brahminical, is the powerful, is the most Brahminical. I have seen that whenever somebody is in Shukra Dasha, Venus, when Venus is strong, he becomes also a very good devotee. So negative qualities of Saturn. So the thing is, any planet, whatever good qualities it has, uh, it gives you. So similarly, it also it also gives you the exact negative qualities also. Moon is more like, it is all pervading. So but it is mostly, it has, moon is mostly related to Vaishya. So Krishna was born Vaishya. You can see moon is land, cows, agriculture, also mind meditation is also there, but the main quality of moon is land, vegetables, agriculture. And agriculture, and moon is also related to cows, again Vaishya. Sade Sati remedy and bad Shani Vaishya. So Sade Sati remedy, of course, to become humble, you have to become extremely humble in life. And for Shani, who is the lord of Shani, it is Kurma. So Kurma Dev also stands for stability. So if you can meditate on Kurma Dev. Also for Sadesati, the remedy is Hanuman, because Hanuman is the one who protected Shani, it seems, in a story. So that is why Shani, whoever worships Hanuman, then Shani doesn't but it's not about just worshipping Hanuman, but physically, mentally practicing celibacy. So Hanuman, yes, worshipping Hanuman is one of the remedies for Sadesati and Shani, bad Shani. So reading Hanuman Chalisa, there is one Hanuman Stotram I gave you. So those are very powerful. So yes, worshipping Hanuman, Kurmadev, Stotram, becoming humble. These are the remedies for Shani. So Navina is asking, I wanted to ask, are these remedies such as yajnas or different homas for deities possible to have an effect in this yoga? Exactly. So that is why I don't know why everybody, even in our own society, in our society, why we have to focus on offenseless chanting. Yagyas do effect to a certain degree. That's a very nice point, Sarvadrik Prabhu. Shani's Ishtadev is Lord Narsimha. So worshipping him pacifies Narsimdev. Definitely, Shani's Ishtadev is Narsimha. Shani has a gratefulness to Hanuman. And the Lord of Shani is Kurma. So you get several remedies now. So basically, if all of us are reading Dashavatara Stotram every day, and for Shani, especially Mukhya Pran, Hanuman, worshipping, and also Narsimadev. So Narsimadev, we have the Narsimarti. Along with that, you can also chant the Narsima Kavacham. Thank you for that wonderful point, Prabhu. Usually I focus on Hanumanji, but this is a very nice point, and we always keep learning. Mm. And so instead of yagya, the real yagya you should do is control of diet, vrat, so ekadashi, fasting. So the biggest yagya is the fire in the stomach. So instead of the outer yagya, you can do the fire in the stomach. So that's why the Chandrayana Vrata that I have been using, that I have been doing last 3-4 months with devotees, it has been giving extremely good results because of the control of diet, control of the stomach fire. So if you control the stomach fire, that is purifying, because that is Vaishwanara Agni. So in Kali Yuga, to have diet control is very, very tough. Agree? Right? So we end up eating, unfortunately, very weak foods, and that too not cooked well, and in the name of festivals we eat heavy food. So if we control our diet, that is one of the biggest yagya, because to control that means to control the mind. And controlled mind, when you chant offenselessly, then you get the best result. So more than any fire yagya. Fire yagya does work when the performer, when the practitioner, when the place, everything is extremely clean and they know the mantras they are chanting. You cannot just chant anything. They have to be trained. So when they are chanting the mantras properly, in the proper mood, in the proper way, the clean place, with everything in place, which is very tough to have, only then the fire yagya works. But devotion works anyway. So that's why we see the devotees have shown the way that by remembering Krishna offenselessly, helplessly, we can see in the case of Ajamil also, he got 20 years extra life for chanting offenselessly. So I was yesterday, my son was playing in the park. His name is Nimai. So I was thinking, I am so sinful. If I die, I was playing with him, I was getting very attached. I was thinking, if like Ajamil, I'm able to remember this guy when I die, this cute little guy, then I'm saved. So I was thinking the same thing. So we all become purified. So yes, so Sarvadik Prabhu has posted a beautiful quote here. So there may be discrepancies in pronouncing the mantras and observing the regulative principle. Moreover, there may be discrepancies in regard time, place, person, and paraphernalia. But when the Lord's holy name is chanted, everything becomes faultless, perfect. So that is why Yas Maret Pundari Kaksham Saha Bhagya Bhyantara Shuchi. So, but more than fire yagya, my firm faith is chanting offenselessly. These are our two main practices in our society. Our Prabhupada's teachings is, one is offenseless chanting and one is reading Srimad Bhagavatam. If we do these two things powerfully, in a proper mood, nicely, eat what is offered to Krishna in a nice way, because when you eat outside too much, that also gives you a lot of karma, especially when there is a restaurant where they cook meat and vegetarian, same thing. That's all very bad karma. So eating your own food, cooked food, is very, very beneficial. So gem therapy, I don't believe so much in gem therapy. It helps you to a certain degree. Where do you find Dashavatara Stotram? Just Google Dashavatara Stotram. You'll find a link in ISKCON Desire Tree. Let's wait a second. Dashavatara Stotram. Let me see. I'll send you the link. Oh, here. It's right in ISKCON Desire Tree. So here you go. So let me just Message to everyone. Yeah. So Dashavatara Stotram, the link to read is there. How will good planets and bad effect produce opposite effects when debilitated retrograde in some bad objects? So, like I said, in astrology, it's an extremely um, complicated calculation in astrology. Nothing is black or white. So sometimes even a debilitated planet gives you amazing results. Lord Chaitanya has Mercury debilitation, but he is so sharp. So because the debilitation is cancelled. Sometimes a cancelled debilitation can give you powerful effects. So similarly, if the retrograde is in the wrong bad houses, then it gives you good effects. But if the retrograde is in the good houses, then it gives you bad effects. So that is why you have to study some horoscope examples, and then you will get the then you are able to fish out the results. It's very important that when you study them nicely, then only then you are able to fish out those results. So we will find that so good and bad planets, there is nothing called good and bad planet, fortunately or unfortunately. Although there are some planets are supposed to be bad and some planets are supposed to be good, it depends on their placement and what you do. So it's a combination of that also, what you perform. So then you get the effect accordingly. Okay, yeah. Is exalted retrograde good or bad? So again, depends on which house it is in. If it's in a Jupiter in 12th house, it is very good. 12th house retrograde is, that means it's good. It's the bad house. Exalted anyway gives you good results. Then it's retrograde, it then again in the bad house, then will give you good result. What is the solution for a weak Mercury? Calmness. Mercury is Buddha. I have realized that those who have weak Mercury, they should practice yoga. When they practice asana pranayam and when they get breath control. So Mercury, the Lord is Buddha. So meditating on Buddha and practicing Buddha's practices. So Mercury can get to your nerves, nerve wracking. Because Mercury controls the nerves and communication. You can have extremely bad communication. So the main thing is if you are calm, that is why diet and diet control and yoga are very, very important. Because when you eat too much, when you don't sleep well, then you are heavy, then your communication is bad. So so basically I found that those who practice calmness, you should take like oil massage and all different things, so then it really gives you amazing benefits. So there are some karmas which are relating to the body, and the mind, so we have to act accordingly. Some say exalted retrogrades behave like debilitated. Is it true? Exalted, no, again depends on the house, which house it is in. If it's in a bad house, like it's a 12th house, then it's okay. 8th house, it's okay. 6th house, it's okay. If it's in the 7th house, it's bad. If it's in the 4th house, it's bad. Yes. I was a jeweler for 20 years and have a GIA degree in gemology. Most gems are adulterated in some way. To be effective, quality has to be there. So get ready to spend tons of money. Better to do charity. Yes. So gems, like Prabhu says, that that's not, I don't prescribe, I don't focus on gems so much. It gets into money business. Rather focus on Bhagavatam and cultivating one's personality. This is more important. What is the remedy if Jupiter strength in less? Yes, see, most of these you have to do charity in one way or the other. So Jupiter, if it is weak, then one has to feed the Brahmanas. Like, not feed means not sponsor some Sunday feast like we do, not sponsoring. You cook, you invite them home. Like in Udupi, if you go to Brahmanas, how they honor the other Brahmanas, you wash their feet. You feed them, you wash their feet, and then at the end they give some dakshina also. And the brahmana is very happy. They're very simple things, but when you do it with a lot of love, then. So similarly, you have to please the brahmanas. Do gau seva. Now, gau seva means another scam in our Indian temples. You give some money in the name of gau seva. So instead of that, you go and you serve the cow. You have to feed the cow with your own hand. Prabhupada says gau seva means you should become like cowherd boy. Cows don't need your money. Cows need your seva, love. So you have to serve very, very humbly. So wait a second. So did I miss any question? What is the remedy if Jupiter? Yeah, I explained that. What is the astrological sign for? So Rahu, there is a lot of difference of opinion on what is the exalted, and so they are saying, some people are of the opinion that Rahu becomes exalted in the Taurus, and Ketu becomes exalted in the exactly opposite house. That's what some people opine. Some people differentiate with that. So it depends on how you look at it, whose paddhati you take. But I take it mostly by the results. So Rahu in Virgo is also supposed to be very good. So there are certain houses where he performs extremely well. So that is, some people, there are different opinions on that. So there is no exactly fixed opinion. But in general, Rahu gives he gives extremely good results when he is placed in a negative house in the horoscope. So depending on how he is placed, for example, if he's in the 6th house, then he gives good results. 8th house, so that's why. So they do not have any sign assigned to them, but some people opine that they have these houses as good and these houses as bad. But they, depending on their, because they are floating in the sense they are not in the bhachakra, they are floating in the opposite direction in a different way. So therefore Rahu and Ketu have not been assigned any house as such officially. Unofficially, yes, many people have different. Ketu Shanivad Rahu, yes, so that is correct. they have the qualities Kujavad Ketu Shanivad Rahu. So that Kuja, Mars, is like Ketu, and Shani, Rahu, behaves like Shani. But of course, they have their own individual character also. But to give you a comparison of what they are like, so this is what they say. So please tell us how to give charity. I mean, also give charity. So charity means you have to give it to a deserving person, like a Brahmana. So Brahmana who is very sincere. So to give blessings to him, so to give him and take his blessings directly, those blessings can change your things. So, and second is when you feed the cow, then you get blessings. So the different charity, Brahmana can give charity of knowledge. Like what I'm doing today, I'm trying to do a Brahminical dharma, where I'm trying to do charity of knowledge, So charity of knowledge is very, very important. One should give. So that is why book distribution is the highest charity also. You are giving knowledge. So if you do, actually all the activities of devotion are charity only. If you do that in that way. But the problem is that it should be done with a proper mentality, with a surrendered and a humble mentality. So when you do that, you definitely get wonderful benefits. Okay, though a planet is not in a good position in birth horoscope, but in Gochara, if they position well, will they give good results? So Gochara will give you temporary benefits. So definitely there are certain periods in which they definitely give you. So definitely it's temporary, but the planetary positions in your horoscope, they definitely give you long-term permanent results. But the gochara can give you certain results because depending on the ashtaka varga. So gochara results depend on the score in the ashtaka varga. So if your ashtaka varga score is good, then the gochara will definitely give you good results. Hmm? So um, so so based on the gochara ashtaka varga score, yes, it does give you good result. But again, life is, sometimes we need something good immediately. Gochara might give the result, but in the long run, for extremely stable results, then your planets overall should be good. What is the role of Gulika and Mandi in examining horoscopes? I wouldn't discuss that because that's pretty big role. You have to first mark Gulika, Mandi. So there is a whole calculation on how they affect certain planets. It's a long calculation. That's in my one-on-one course, advanced course. So we can definitely, because first you have to learn what is Gulika and Mandi, how they are the upagrahas of the sun and where they are placed. So there is a certain calculation how it um, debilitates the houses it is in and what effects does it have. So it's a long explanation. So I will do that when we have the advanced course or you join my one-on-one course, definitely. Charity given out of duty without expectation of return at proper time. Oh, okay. And place and to a worthy person is considered in the mode of goodness. Correct. So basically, charity given to a brahmana, charity given to like a cow, like in the sense you actually feed them, you actually take care of them and serve with your body and mind and hand. That's when you get the really good result. Mm. So, yeah. So, all right. So, any other questions, comments, anybody would like to share here? There's some topic that some of you wanted, I forgot. Anyway, what to do when Saturn is debilitated? It's with Jupiter and or your horoscope. So, when Saturn is debilitated, definitely we talked about the three solutions for Saturn, correct? Sarvadik Prabhu also said the Lord of Saturn is uh, the Lord of Saturn is Kurma, but the birth time correction, and also the Lord of and Saturn is lauded by Kurma. So worshipping Kurma, Hanuman, Narsimha. Saturn is, of course, very powerful, very important for results. So definitely worshiping them. Birth time correction. I'll go to birth time correction now, and we will end with this. So I'll quickly show you. So this is, for example, somebody is born at this time. I just took a Prashna horoscope. Okay. Now, if the birth time is off by 2 hours, for example, okay, this is somebody's horoscope. One second. So let me do a new horoscope and let me look at, okay, let me look at this. So there is some chat. Thank you. Okay. So if I look at this, so after 2 hours, so he's born now. This is his horoscope. So what happens is after he's born, so if I take the time as 18:21, just 2-3 hours later, So we see the lagna changes by 3 houses. Every 2 hours, the lagna changes. But more importantly, let's look at the 10 o'clock horoscope. Okay. Now look at the Navamsha. Okay. And now when I go to 16, just notice the placements of the Navamsha. Moon is here, Venus, all these things are here, right? So then, so now moon has moved, certain planets have moved. Navamsha doesn't affect so much, but at this, certain planets do move. So when the Lagna moves, when the moon moves, and then the most important thing is all these certain so all these other, because if you see Trimshamsha, you divide it into 30. So how these are derived is that you divide these houses. When you do Navamsha, how do you get Navamsha? I divide each house into 9. And then I place each house on top, like Aries, Taurus. So each 9 houses. So I put Aries, beginning with Aries, I name each house. So whichever house the planet comes into based on the degrees here, then I place it in the Navamsha. Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer. So that's how it is calculated. So when it's calculated, it moves in a different house, and then we place it in a different house. We place it in a different house. We place it in a different. But Trimshamsha, you're dividing by 30. So if the planet moves even by a little bit, then it causes a big difference. So there is a lot of changes due to a little change in time. So some people, if their birth time is off by 30 minutes, it may not affect the main horoscope, but when you want to look a closer look at the results, and then when you go to the amshas, that's when the problem comes. So how do you do the birth time correction? So even for twins, for example, one twin is born, 5 minutes later, another twin is born. And then they are exactly opposite people. Exactly opposite people, because the Lagna, if it moves even by few minutes, of course, Lagna won't make such a difference. But any other planet, so within a few minutes, because the Lagna, of course, also makes it when you look at Trimshamsha, Dashamsha. So when you calculate Dashamsha, any slight movement of even 10 minutes, then all those dependent chart changes based on 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So that is why we are in astrology, you have to come down to the real time. So there are 2 ways to come down to actual time. And I will discuss very first is the person when he contacts you. When he contacts you, you have to note down the time. When he contacts you, you note down the time. And Navamsha is different. Okay, yeah. So why are some planetary abbreviation in parentheses? Or the parenthesis is, it is in retrograde. So retrograde. So parenthesis is retrograde. Okay, that's a good point. There are twins of my godbrother born few minutes apart. One of them dies in a train accident in front of another twin. Navamsha is different. Yes. So certain time, little bit here and there, then so many things, the dependent charts change, which changes the result, the minute results. The gross results might be the same. You are the children of the same father. The gross result is there. The time is there. But a certain change can make. So that is why the time when the person first contacts you, that is extremely important. So that is why one should know how to pick up a horoscope, that is Prashna horoscope. And when you do that, Prashna, that will give you the clue. And when you do the birth chart, and if there are any discrepancies found, then you immediately refer to the Prashna. So when I do my astrology reading, I also keep the Prashna chart open for reference. When somebody asks a questions, when somebody shows his horoscope, the time when they connect to you, that is the most crucial time, given the clue as to the other thing. Then what you should do is to correct the birth time. So you look at the time that he has, the time that he has, the birth time, and if you find discrepancies, so you have to also ask certain questions, and certain dasha, certain times, they should match. If he has gone through Sadasati, something wrong would have happened, he would have gone. So you can trace out those times based on those positions. Certain marriage formations and everything. So you can check that. If that doesn't match, basically is Lagna, of course, that might be slight variation. That's different. The general Lagna, for the basic characteristics of a Lagna, is the same. But all the other slight variations, you can ask questions. And based on those questions, and also the dasha. So certain dasha should give you certain results based on what he's saying is his birth time. But if the results are not coming that way, so when you are not ready that way, then we will find that the results do not match, right? So then you apply the correction. Means you see if by making this time, because he has to give you a clue of a time, then you look at the prashna, then you have to come to this. Prashna is very crucial here. Astrologer should have, either you can do it mathematically, you have to go through a lot. Like you have to apply, okay, then this will be the time. Then you kind of jot down, this should be the character, this should be the dasha. So you have to, it's like a plus and minus. You have to do a changes. However, definitely those changes are there. However, only way you can do it faster is when you are able to do a good prashna. So when you do a prashna, means moment the person connects you, you just open up a horoscope, and that has the clue. So that is called prashna. So prashna is a whole science, and it deals with the same as the main horoscope. Only thing is it is born out of a question. So when the question is extremely serious, the time that the question is asked is very crucial. So then you can do the birth time correction. So you have to take whatever he's saying, the data, the time he met you, prashna. So you have to take the variations in place, and that again depends on your experience. That again depends on your experience, how much. So when I'm doing with one boy this one-on-one advanced course, and I'm taking him through the character of each planet, each house, each planet, each house, each planet in each house, so that we have it by heart. So every day we are going through it. He's such a sincere student. Every day he wants to have class. So I've extended number of classes also because of his sincere desire. So we go through each house so that we have it in our head. And then when something comes up, you have it by heart that this is how it should happen. Then of course, as you study more horoscopes, it will happen. What should be my ascendant what should I do if my ascendant is only 133 degrees in Sagittarius, if I am 10 minutes earlier than the entire sun? I don't have many life events to know it by since I'm young. That is completely fine if your ascendant is 133. There is nothing wrong in that. Everyone thinks if I'd have born, like I know one devotee friend of mine. So major movie star was born the same day and almost the same time as she was born, in a different room. Almost, not the same time. So she became a big movie star, and she always keeps asking me, why am I not famous like that movie star? What if I was born 5 minutes later, I would have like that. So that is why you are born 5 minutes early, because you are not meant to be. the movie star. So why you are born at that time? Because you are meant to be what you are meant to be. So don't worry about what it is there. So 10 minutes, if it is the right time, then it is. So that is why we need experience. We have to sit down and kind of jot over the dasha and the bhukti, and which dasha gives us which bhukti results. So we have to go over that. It's like it could be a wrong time. Yeah, that we have to do prashna and check. So when you connect with an astrologer and everything, so you have to do the prashna, you have to, that's why birth time correction means if the dashas and everything doesn't match what life events. So life events just doesn't mean marriage and everything. Life events also means certain study, certain change in personality, certain, financial, even changes for parents. Your parents became rich, your parents fell up. So that's all also indicated in your horoscope. So we can all come down to that. So those things you have to compare. So definitely. So in this way, so birth time correction means, so many a times the biggest missing key point, if you have your birth details correct, then horoscope is not a problem. But if you're missing the birth details, that's when the problem comes. So that needs a lot of correction. We definitely need a lot of correction. So you can apply this correction in many different ways. We can see that either correction can be applied by asking questions, corrections can be applied by prashna, corrections can be done mathematically or by intuition. So it depends on the astrologer, and then you can come down to the perfect birth time. Okay, so definitely in a few days time I will do the Prabhupada's horoscope, and I will definitely invite all of you. And I want to invite many more people also. And I hope this class and this course was beneficial to all of you. And I would like to, if everyone can turn on their camera, we can all wish each other and greet each other. Thank you all.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Hare Krishna everyone.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, thank you very much for everything. Even I'm not asking because this is still new for me. I am helpful. That's very, very interesting for me. I will join all the class. I mean, I still reading the book you sent to me and the other. So it will be very helpful for me to understand. At least I know what should I do now. At least to do more
Yeah.
become more humble. I will learn about that, Prabhu. Thank you very much for everything.
So the goal of all Vedic knowledge is to become humble. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne. Right?
Thank you
So
very
if you
much.
become humble, then
Actually, a lot of question I have, but at least I will learn first, and
so let's
I
do
do
one
some
thing.
writing. Bro.
So let's do one thing. All of you, whatever questions you have, you can put in the chat. Then I'll make a video. Like after 1 week, I'll make a video and I will send. Okay.
Okay,
Just
Prabhuji.
like in All India Radio, everybody asks questions, then they read those questions.
Okay.
I can definitely do that. And I'm extremely grateful. All of you joined. It's only when the students are there, then everything becomes successful. And also most of you are
Prabhuji.
elder to me. And I'm also thankful to Sarvadev
Prabhuji.
for such nice.
Prabhuji, last Friday, last recording, I request for that.
Yeah, I will send it.
Please.
It's somewhere in the cloud. I
Thank
have
you.
been busy morning 6 to evening 8 o'clock. Somehow, so many things are pending. I'll send you.
Thank you very much, Prabhu, for wonderful knowledge. Wonderful knowledge.
Hare Krishna. And I was just thanking Sarvadik Prabhu for his
Thank you.
wonderful inputs and points, and and all of you for asking such wonderful questions and participating. So we hope to keep in touch. I will keep the group alive, and we will keep interacting, and any astrology sessions and everything. I want to convert it into like a regular group where people can ask astrological, where I can share some astrological things like eclipses. Actually, I shared the eclipses of December. If you open a horoscope of evenings 4 o'clock US Eastern time, the eclipse on December 26th last year, and the eclipse coming up on December 13, 2020, you will find a very interesting comparison. So I'm planning to make a video on that, of how this Kala Sarpa Yoga started and now it's going to peak. And this till March next year, the Kala Sarpa Yoga will continue. So the world is in a slow pace of change, so it's a change. So Kala Sarpa Yoga is meant, so I want to explain the Kala Sarpa. So I want to make such videos. So I'll keep this group going and I will share these videos. And if you have any questions, comments on such world issues, points, what the world can do, it will be very beautiful to share. So thank you all so much. My humble obeisances to all of you.
Hare
Thank you so
Krishna.
much, Prabhuji.
Vancha
Hare
kalpatarubyascha,
Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, everyone. Haribol. Hopefully you will visit Yogyakarta or Indonesia next time for all of you.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Once everything opens, then I will be at your mercy.
Hare Krishna. Haribol.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare Krishna, thank you.